Good afternoon there, everybody. Silver Dragon here, coming at you with another alpha release for Theme Park Studio today. It is releasing through Steam, though I'm not sure if it's for public access on Steam. Actually, I should probably check that. Let me see if it's publicly available to buy on the Steam page at this point. I already own it, but can I buy it? Yeah, looks like it's publicly accessible through Steam. I kind of hate it when they do that, but you know what can you do in that sense? Anyway, this is, as you can kind of tell from that, is a theme park simulator game. Welcome to the ultimate theme park simulator, where the only limit is your imagination. And that's actually quite accurate in its own way. But anyway, this is, basically when you launch the game, this is the start page that you would get in the beginning. It would show you, here's all the quick tutorials you can select to hop to and see what how this plays out. Watch the quick start tutorial, which actually doesn't cover a lot of what you absolutely need to know, which is a shame. The custom train editor, which is still coming soon. It's not something that's in this release. The forums and all that. Eventually, we'll have Park of the Month and the author description. All of that will be on here. You can, view it. You can download it. Same thing for the best model of the month. You could view it and download it. And so on and so forth. I'm sure there'll be more to this as it expands eventually. But anyway, let's load this up. So we start off with a blank slate. We have a whole slew of different options, of course. Our various saves in the top left corner. Our main toolbar displays or hides the main toolbar. Object view, which I don't really have there right now. The bolt, which bolts down the current item so that it's stuck there. You won't be able to edit it or move it around or screw around with it. We have the selection lock current selection. Move to select it, move the object, rotate the object, scale the object was something I was actually looking for. I'm actually going to remove snap to grid for now, or actually I'll keep it on for the moment. Terrain binding is disabled. Clears the terrain for from scene objects, and clear and raise the terrain for scene objects. And then finally materials, modify the park's materials and color, which we have right there, but I'm not going to mess around with that too much. I'm going to load up a custom park. There's a couple of these custom parks I can load up. I'm just going to go straight to this one right here. The Pico Park. It's going to be loading it in the bottom right corner. So this will take a minute. Then we'll cover all the selections we have on the left side here. Cough. Now loading. Please wait. Please wait. There we go. Lovely. Oh wow, this is a beautiful park. So this is the one with that castle. And it even has a drawbridge. That's awesome. Wow, that's pretty damn cool. It's a shame. This game could definitely benefit from a really nice soundtrack at this point, but it'll take a while for that to happen, I'm sure. Now, I do want to... This is a pretty nice little basic park. We have, of course, the little Ferris wheel ride here, which is accessible from the other side. This is going to be interesting, because again, obviously, later down the road, they're going to be adding in, actual people are going to be able to come in here and ride the rides and such, so we're going to need lines, and we currently don't have those. We only have all we really have access to right now is some of the pathing and environment editing, landscaping tools, and a few of these simple rides, or flat rides, which don't actually move yet. That's part of a next milestone, is that they'll add in the animations for these rides, and this is really cool. Like, really cool. I would love to see these things running. And so on and so forth, and they still have a lot left to add. Now we have all these little custom buildings here, and obviously I'm sure eventually we'll be able to tag these as, actual shops that people could go into and, make use of in that sense. At the moment, they're just kind of models, so they don't have any functionality to them, obviously. What do we have here? Just a random building. I've seen this a couple times, and there's nothing really you can do with this building that I've seen. I can also see a bit of a glitch here, where you look through the top window, and you can actually see through the building. Well, let me actually get up here. There we go. You'll see through the other building to the other side because you're not actually viewing it, so it sees right through it for some reason. That's interesting. Now, oh wow, this is a cool ride. The Spin of Death. Oh, here we go. We have an actual line here now, it seems. Or what looks like a line. It's kind of an odd line. And the tree is kind of blocking it here. Not to mention it's kind of cut off right there. So obviously we'd want to open this up and allow them to come through here, but I would hope we actually have something, you know, more of a proper kind of, for anyone that's ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon, a similar line to that. And that leads me to another point. I've messed around with this thing a bit, just to kind of, you know, play around with it and see how it plays out. And one thing I would definitely suggest to be used for this game would be a simple editor and an advanced editor. Simple editor is just you know, already created objects, simple pathing, you know, stuff like that. Just all the basics, basically pre-made, ready to be placed, ready to be used in that sense. And then the advanced editor, which allows you to create something like, say, this castle here, which has all been made by hand by stretching and, you know, adding on objects here. Basically, this castle was made completely by hand. The windows were popped on as an object. You know, this little roof was put on and stretched. You know, you could probably stretch this out to make a different kind of roof and so on and so forth. All this was done by hand in order to build that. And that's nice, but a lot of us aren't going to want a lot of those tools in the beginning here. Now, something as simple as this little thing here is kind of locked down right now, I believe. Is it still locked down, or... No, I want to go resizing. Scaling. Let's see if I can... No. Also, that's another thing that's annoyed me a bit as well here, is that you're trying to... If you're trying to scale something or mess with something, the controls to do so aren't really mentioned as well as they could be. Like, it's like, okay, I left-click to drag, or, you know, something like that. It's just... Like, this does nothing. This you try moving this around, it apparently does nothing, even when I'm selecting the option here. It's just the path properties. I'm assuming that's the pathing underneath it. Also, apparently using WASD while clicking on this thing will ping, ping, and that's just beyond annoying. You can see it's like, okay, obviously I need to move that other bit up, but how the hell do I do that? No, I don't want to select that. I don't want to select that castle in the background. I wanted to select a different part of this, specifically. But it's so hard to do that right now, it seems. Like, I'm trying to, you know, it seems like it's sized perfectly for this, and I cannot seem to get the inner boxes, or select the inner boxes. I'm trying to, but it will not seem to let me. It just wants to move the whole damn thing. And it's like, no, I don't want to move the whole damn thing. You know, the bottom is sized fine. Everything else is sized fine. I want to make this a giant, you know, a giant wheel so that it actually, it's just larger in size. You know, I don't want to increase the size of every bloody part of the thing. So there's a lot left in this that needs to be explained better about how to properly work a lot of this stuff. Hopefully someone else with a little more time on their hands will come up with a good tutorial for this thing that actually explains a lot of that. Because I would love to resize this thing, you know, just stretch it left and right, keep the platform where it is, stretch the base to the very edge here, leave the size of the actual, you know, vessels as they are. That's fine. But I want to, you know, widen the whole frame itself individually as itself. But I cannot properly select the damn thing for that. So yeah, I can stretch it like this, and congratulations, you now have a super large ride, and all these super freaking, it just doesn't work. It just does not work. It's like I have to raise the thing up here, and I have no idea how to do that. It's just resizing the entire thing as one. Maybe if I had it disabled snap to grid, maybe that would help, but nope. So there's some way and somehow to edit this thing so that it would function like that, but I don't know how to do it. One could even add on more of these rides to the thing. And I'm sure that each of these objects will be designated like that. So, you know, if you were to add on more of these little vehicles here to it on the various points here, like say right here or something, or add more edges to it, however you would happen to do it, it would increase the capacity of the ride, allowing it to stop and, you know, load on more people and then keep going for a while and so on and so forth. I'm sure there'll be a lot of editing one can do in that regard to it, to make it, you know, really individualize a lot of this stuff. So it's not just the same, you know, the same ride that everyone else has built on all of their parks. You could actually customize it and make it your own in that sense. Would be really nice. So there's a lot of in-depth detailing you can do to a lot of this, like the arcade here. Like all these buildings were built by hand and then inputted into the game, and the engine here allows you to do that. You can easily make your own custom buildings here and put them in the world. Shops and buildings. You can see all the various shops here. There's no information on what this is. Unfortunately, there's also a lag as well. Anytime you select something and start to drag it into the world, there's a bit of a lag, which drives me a bit nuts, but what can you do? So we have this information booth here. I'm just going to kind of plop it in the middle here. Now I can use shift to raise it up, lower it. Now I noticed on a different park that some of these surfaces, like some of the pathing surfaces here, the wider ones, had some issues with their collision for the bottom of it. So things were like floating over top of them, and it wasn't properly, you know, wasn't properly attached to each other, kind of like how this is here. It's, you know, it's properly linked up to it. And objects would sink down into the floor and such. So there were some issues. I think it was actually one of these. Let me see here. Take this bathroom and see how it... Oh yeah, you can see how this kind of gets sunk in here. When I first put it on, it's sinking like a ½ degree down. It does that with this specific platform right here. I guess it's only supposed to have your ride on that. But still, it's a shame that it does that. Sweets and treats, all these other ones. The treasure chest shop. Ooh, treasure chest shop seems interesting. Do we actually have one of those here yet? I think we do. I can hit R to rotate. Or not. Oh no, it was Alt. Alt to rotate. Alt and then drag the mouse. So I do actually have the treasure chest shop right here. Oh, that's nice. I can kind of rotate myself down here, take a look at it. So I'm sure eventually that, at least I would hope eventually that there'd be, that these doors would be working, basically. I would absolutely love to, depending on how much detail they can put into this game, I would absolutely love for there to be interiors in this game. That would be amazing. If you had an actual window here with somebody, you know, standing on the clerk standing at his till, you know, people are going inside, there's objects, you know, all over the place. That would be absolutely badass. People actually opened the door and walked inside, or maybe you kept the door open to kind of cool the place down or something. You know, stuff like that would be very, very interesting. I would love little details like that. Of course, that'd be interesting with customized buildings as well. But, you know, anyway, as I'm saying in that sense, basically NPCs have got to get in here and access this to buy stuff some way or another way. So hopefully they'll be able to do that, at least in some form there. High octane sign. Oh, let's see here. I want to see this high octane sign. Oh, wow. We'll put that sign over here. Let's kind of face it properly. Place that there. And she's placed. Nice. So even this sign, something like this sign, you can actually customize and make this. I'm assuming you would use the pathing tool to stretch it around and make this. But either way, you know, anything like this, you can make it. You can add on whatever kind of texture you will to it. So basically, this is going to be somebody's theme park dreamland. This game, with all the, you know, insane editing you can do in the game to the various things, it's going to absolutely just blow some people's minds. Now, let's see here. Let me place my own little garden somewhere if I can. I'm assuming these are just trees. We have, of course, coasters, which we have none of right now. We don't have access to any coasters. But, you know, like some other people, you know, I'm sure like certain people. Personally, for me, I don't plan on doing a lot of the major editing in this game. You know, I'm not going to be building these epic buildings that are going to be placed in here and have whatever function they're going to have. You know, like this castle here, this amazing castle. I'm not going to be able to build stuff like this. I will probably download and use stuff like that, but I won't actually be able to build it myself. See the nice lighting effects here from the torches, which is really kind of cool. But a lot of these buildings, custom-made buildings that you're going to make as well, you need to have a lot of parameters that are attached to it. Like, obviously, this castle would be an insanely interesting ride, as it were. Like, it could be the haunted castle. You could, you know, select an option, make it a haunted castle, and that would be an interesting bit, a little addition that would be added to this. Who knows? Maybe it'd go through, come out, and maybe they're dressed in vampire costumes or something. You know, something like that. Or they get that bonus from this. That would be really, really cool to see. Either way, you need to be able to designate exactly what these custom buildings are, what their function is. Is it a ride? Is it just an art piece? You know, stuff like that. And so on and so forth. And then have it function as such. So there's a whole lot of this to this editing that would have to be added in here still to make this a truly, you know, unique and interesting experience in that regard. Of course, a lot of the animation still has to be added in and all that. Let's see here. What else was I looking at? That's the flat rides, lighting sources. This is actually quite the interesting part here. Apologies for the yawn. Let me see if I can actually transition the time of day here. We have sunset. No, giving it some time. Sunset. Blue sky, which we were at before. God damn that damn big. I hate that beep so much. So we have the Night Sky 2 and then Night Sky 1, which is a little bit lighter. Distant lighting, but I like this one here. So we can see, let me actually click this and get back to it here so it doesn't ping me anymore. God, that's so annoying. Anyway. Now these objects here currently, I don't think they actually are casting light themselves. Let me go into... Let me see if I can find objects here. There we go. Balloon stand, bench, pad. Yeah, it is the round pad. The pads do not properly seem to work as collision structures right now. They seem to have issues with stuff being placed on top of them. They don't... their surface isn't considered a proper surface. Okay, so no, this is considered its own light source. But basically, if you go into the lighting area here, you can actually add on your own lighting as well. This is a... We have a couple different... couple different colors, obviously. And I can just move it around and kind of put it where I want to. Like if I wanted to light up this... Say, I wanted this balloon. I want this lantern up here to give off a blue light. I would just center it on top of it here. Now this is the fast rendering light. It just is a bright light that goes everywhere and affects everywhere in that sense. I can actually change that by right-clicking on it, and I think I was right-clicking on it. Yeah, I think I had to place the light maybe. Let me try that. Let me try moving it up top here. So I'll place that light switch there, the light right there. Let me see if I can... No, it doesn't show up for that properties. Oh, here we go. You gotta open up the properties for it. Okay. I'll delete that for now. So go back to lighting, properties, and we can go over to the right here, light type, Omni Fast, and we can actually switch that to Omni HD. Now this is an HD light now, and it works a little bit differently than the other light does. You can see it's a lot more natural looking. It actually blends a lot better to the terrain. You can see it's kind of lights up just perfectly if I put it on the corner here. Hits both of it or it starts to shade the one side. You know, it's a lot more interesting of a light source in that sense. It's a lot, looks a lot nicer, but this is also something that uses up a whole lot more rendering. So it can be a little bit more laggy to say the least. You know, it can cause quite a bit more lag. Let's get a nice green HD light going in here. Beautiful. So we now have that green light there. It's casting its ominous glow. This would actually really be... If that was going to be a haunted castle, you could easily, you know, create these nice little green and purple light sources here. Let me go Omni HD. I know it uses up more rendering power, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to use the HD lighting in a good portion of places. So hopefully they can improve its capabilities in that regard. Okay, that's good enough. I could probably increase the brightness and everything as well to it. The pitch and roll. Obviously the light's kind of casting inwards right now, not outwards. So I'd have to adjust that. Whoops. Put you up here, my friend. Let me try using Alt to try to move it around here a little bit. No, it doesn't make a difference. It's still going to do that regardless. So yeah, no, good enough for me. Let me click away on this. No, I don't want to edit that. I'm just trying not to click on anything that I don't mean to click on. Alright, so basically, you know, the terrain, you can edit everything you can here. Obviously, it'd take a lot of skill to really get into this, so that's why I'm hoping that they will have, you know, the advanced editor, which is for making a lot of the more amazing custom buildings like that castle, and a simple editor just so that people can quickly, you know, do some basics to it. Just place down, move, rotate, you know, nothing mind-blowing. Just some good basics. Let me go pathing here, basic path, or path with a fence. Now, I really like how the pathing here, how the paths work. Oh my god, seriously, that's pissing me off with that thing. Anyway. And obviously right now that the terrain kind of just morphs around it. So you select one area and you can kind of move it around. Right now it does not seem to really morph to the terrain. I can use shift to kind of raise it up if I wanted to, or down. Or I can place it up top here. We suddenly have like a floating little bridge kind of area going on here. I can click that. And that's the weirdest thing though with it is, oh, you can see it even builds the supports underneath it, which is really nice. So I want to get rid of this terrain here a little bit. Alright, let's see if I can actually go higher here. No, it refuses to go up, it seems. So we'll place this here. We're creating a racetrack around this place. There we go. Place that down there. Place this way up here. So yeah, this would literally be like a racetrack going around this park. That's interesting. I like how it does that though. See how it handles going underneath though. Obviously, there's still some issues with the pathing. I mean, obviously, I don't really want it to look like this. I want it to take over from the edge there. So, there's a lot of it to be worked out still, I'm sure. A lot of modeling needs to be put into this. A lot of features need to be tossed into it. But that's for down the road. Anyway, let's remove this bit here if I can. Or just hit escape to get rid of that. Okay. I'd have to select each individual block here if I wanted to delete this. Select that, delete. Delete, 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 delete. All the way back to the beginning here, as it were. Alright, what else do we have here? Properties. Set path properties. Okay, path objects. It's all just the pathing stuff. So yeah, as I said, there's a lot you can actually do with this. A lot of details you can add into it. But, you know. Nope, I do not want to delete the entire park. Yes, I do want to delete this path. Okay. Alright, so yeah, as I said, there's a lot of detail you can get into this. You can really make your own unique park in that sense. And really make something that not only would be functional, but beautiful. I mean, look at this. This is just nice looking with the bits of water tossed in here, little lakes every now and then. It's just really, really nice. Hopefully we can also eventually add some objects to the lake as well to beautify that a bit. You know, some lilies or something. Something interesting to add to that. Some fish, you know, stuff like that, just to add more detail to it. But yeah, as I said, this is pretty much what we have right now. You can build up your own custom park. Obviously this pathing here needs some work, because you can see right here we have this is kind of intersecting here, so we can't exactly move across. I'm not sure if that's something I screwed up. Probably is, actually, I would say. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's something I screwed up. So let's delete that. I moved it by mistake, I guess. Would you like to unbolt? No. I want to select the gates here, but it won't let me. That's a shame. No. Oh, God, selected the giant tree. And you can really resize and make this thing as large as you really want it to be. Such as, let me go to this tree here. I'm going to unbolt this tree if I can. Yes, unbolt the tree. So I can make just an absolutely massive, like, super tree here that guards the entire park. Say hello to the Gaia tree. And, oh wow, I've actually kind of... as it tries to render all that. It just can't right now, it seems. Obviously, it would have its own problems there. Yeah, the foliage is something that I think needs to be adjusted for its... size-wise for when it gets a little bit bigger like this. You know, if you have a super tree, then obviously you would have to have the proper foliage and branches for it, which it currently does not possess. The ability to resize to that enormous size. Well, anyway, I digress. Let's shrink this guy down. Whoops, actually it's gone now. It's vanished. It's vanished! Sure, why not unbolt it? No. I'm trying to mess... No! For the last time! God, they need to lower the hitbox to the actual... Are you fucking kidding me? Quit screwing around with me here, buddy. Seriously, I'm trying to move this guy. Not you. You can screw off. Let's stop resizing, move it to moving. Okay, so I want to move it over here. So if I wanted, I could make just the tiniest little tree. You know, a little shrub even. You can turn a tree into a shrub. There you go. Nice little compact shrub. Oh wow, I like how that looks when you're turning it around there. How it re-renders it. Whoa, that was kind of awkward. So yeah, you now have a nice little shrub here. I would like to even see if I can resize it up a little bit. Like, yeah, there you go. You hold down shift, you can even resize it this way. So you now have like a completely different tree. We just took that one tree and now we have a completely different kind of tree here. As you can see. We can move that wherever we want to. We can resize it. Make it this just tall, ridiculously tall tree. Or we can just shrink it down. Come on, shrink it down now. Oh god. Shrunk it down too much. Shrunk it down too much. So, we now have grass. We now have a lovely new bit of grass here. Because I shrunk it down too much by mistake. Oh, and unfortunately Control Z in this isn't actually undo, which is a shame. Ah, well, whatever. I've screwed around with that enough as it is. So, anyway, as you can see here, you can mess around with the landscape. You can make some truly unique landscapes. You can mess around with these little flower beds here and just kind of... Yes, unbolt it. No, not that one. This time right now. No, for the last time. I'm trying to select this. Thank you very much. So you can resize this. You can make big, just ridiculous kind of spiked trees if you want. If you absolutely want it. Which obviously we don't. So shrink that down. Get it back around the bush there. Lovely. Alright, move the object. Let's rotate, not move. One thing though is I'd like to stretch it this way instead. But I can actually... No, I can do that. I can scale it that way. Just gotta use control. Oh no. Oh, no, it's not doing it either. Huh, weird. So I can't seem to compress the sections of it for some reason. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong here with it, but still. Anyway. Part of what I would like to see done with this is instead of using... I guess it's debatable, honestly. It would be nice if there was just a simple, you know, like little arrows you could pull on the thing. Like, just grab that arrow, drag it. Okay, it's going sideways. Re-angle myself this way. Drag the up arrow, and it resizes it that way. You know, that way you're not making as many mistakes as I am, kind of like right here. You can adjust it slightly, you know, kind of shrink these back in here on either side, however you want to stretch it. That way you can make some truly unique things. Bushes, at least in that sense. Or resize pretty much anything in that as well. Anyway, let's actually shrink this octane sign down. No, I don't want to click that. And again, the hitboxes on these things, it's like shrink them around the object themselves. Like I'm trying to click this damn high octane sign and I'm just clicking random things I happen to be beside. Even though there's nothing specifically in my way, it's still considering it in the way, which is annoying. There we go. Move it now. There we go. It's sort of proper the way I'm looking at it, or trying to look at it. Alright, sweet. Good enough for me. Good enough for me. So yeah, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in this. A little more simplification to the editor, as well as preserving, well, simplification to a point, but also preserving the actual, you know, complexity of the engine as well, and what you can do with it. Custom scenery. Here's all the extra stuff for actually building your own kind of, create new custom scenery? No. Or let's say yes. Oh, yeah, it's for literally creating your own custom object here, like this arc. And you could change it up, you know, add whatever you want to it, little bits. It's spinning, and I'd rather not like that. Position, orientation, scale, texture, physics, properties, all that kind of stuff is what you can edit in here. So there's a whole lot of different things you can do. I'm not going to screw with this too much, though, right now. Pillars. Ooh, pillars. Those are pretty nice. I'd rather place those, not edit them. Particles. These would be objects such as the torches and fire. You can just add fire to certain things if you so desire. Oh no, this trash can is on fire. There we go. We now have a trash can that is on fire. It's an incinerator trash can. Newest rage. Just don't burn yourself while putting your garbage in it. Okay. There we go. So we now have fire. Inside of that, we can also add smoke. There we go. So it's now smoking as well. Now, torches automatically have the attributes of fire and smoke. So when you place a torch, it'll automatically have that. Let me place one of these if I can. Or not. Okay. And now it's being a pain in the ass again. No, I would not like to unbolt that. Thank you very much. Now let's see if I can take a look at terrain here. Terraforming. Here we go. Display terrain maps, landscaping, smooth, beach. Ooh. Oh, goddamn, what the hell? And right-clicking doesn't seem to get rid of this. Left-clicking increases it. Oh, so we can now see the editing tile, which is ridiculously large. Congratulations, you just created the mountains. Oh, wow. That is ridiculously large. It should not be that large. And right-clicking doesn't... That's the one thing, though, as well. Right-clicking doesn't reverse it. You would expect in any editor like this that right-clicking would cancel that. You know, it would do the opposite of the left click, which added it, but it does not. So that's something that needs to be added in there as well. So anyway, I'm not going to get into this too much more right now. You know, the basics are there. As you can see, smooth that out. Let's smooth down these mountains, make them a little less sheer. All the tools are here to really make some amazing and unique parks. There we go. He's level flattened to bring it all back down here. But I know there's a way to actually change the size of this thing. I just need to figure out textures. You can load the textures for this as well. Terraforming, all the various properties are there. Ground scale, there we go. Let's try 1. And that's on it, I guess. Whatever, I'm sure the scale for it is in here somewhere. I'm just, you know, I'm not going to bother looking for it and screwing around with it right now. Anyway. And then, of course, we have the water settings. Enabled, water scale, water fog. Ooh. Oh, I like that. We'll keep the fog color as is. Hit escape, get rid of that damn thing. Alright. Really don't notice any fog on the water here. It's nice that you can actually see the reflection, the stars reflected in it, though. I really like that. That is nice. All the nice texturing you can do here and all that. I do like a lot what they're doing with this game, but again, it just needs the basic kind of functions now in it so that we can really start messing around with it and making some good stuff. Or just, you know, playing it as is. I really hope that when they eventually finish this, you will be able to just, if you want to, just build and play in that sense, you know. Don't have to actually go into it and edit anything and make it too amazing. You know, that option is there, but to have it just build and play and be able to just, you know, have fun with it, I would like to see a lot more of that. Anyway, I digress. I did terrible throughout this here. My editing skills are pretty crappy, as you can see. What can you do? What can you do? Oh, well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed regardless. This is pretty much all the content we have currently in this version. Obviously, we also have audio, which we can edit ourselves as well here. Audio and animation down the road. So we'll even be able to make our own custom animations. So, quite literally, once this game gets all of its functionality, all of its tools, all of its refinement to those, the amount of things we can do in it are pretty much unlimited. As it said, it's up to your imagination. You could pretty much make whatever the heck you want and put it in here. From the ground up, you could make any object you'd want and put it in here. So yeah, that's intriguing. Anyway, thanks for watching this first look at the alpha for blah. There goes my complete brain derp again. Theme Park Studio. Apologies, I am just out of it now, it seems. Oh, my lord. My lord. But yes, I hope you've enjoyed this look at this little alpha here, and definitely do check it out. It is on Steam, as we all saw there, for, what is it? Yeah, 30 bucks. It's a bit expensive for an alpha game, but, you know, I'm sure it'll be worth it in the end. And that's 30 bucks for alpha, too. God knows what it's going to be when it goes up down the road. But anyway, yep, thanks for watching. Have a great one, and can't wait to see more of this. Actually, I can't wait to see what gets released to this over time. I will continue to do updates for this, although I probably won't make anything amazing here because it's a little difficult right now to make these parks. It's just a little... The editor is a little too complex in what it... in the basics of it. I don't know. My brain is so derped right now. Jesus. My lord. Basically, they need to simplify a lot of the controls and the customization of this a bit so that we can, you know, just do the basics. And if we want to get more in depth, we just select a couple options, and congratulations, we're now getting more in depth. That is all they really need to do with that to really allow us to get into it in that sense. But anyway, peace out, everybody.